I still dream about us. Sometimes, the memories come like waves, unexpected and powerful, crashing into the quiet moments of my day. I'll be walking down a street lined with golden autumn leaves, or sipping coffee in the early hush of morning, and suddenly I'm swept back into a chapter of my life that still feels unfinished. I still dream about us. It's a truth I carry quietly, an ache both tender and bittersweet, as persistent as the tide. Our story didn't begin with fireworks or grand gestures. It was simpler, softer, the way sunlight creeps into a room just before dawn, gentle and hopeful. We met one chilly afternoon in a small used bookstore tucked between the bustling heart of the city and the slow, winding river. I was hunting for a copy of a novel I'd loved as a child, and you were sitting cross-legged on the floor between the shelves, lost in a battered poetry anthology. Your laughter, sudden and unguarded, drew my attention. It was the kind of laugh that seemed to shake off the weight of the world. You looked up, and our eyes met, and for a moment, time paused. I remember the way your eyes crinkled at the corners, the way you pushed your hair behind your ear, a little shy, a little curious. We started talking, about books, about favorite authors, about the kind of stories that make your heart ache in the best way. Our conversation spilled out into the street, and then into a cozy cafe nearby, where we sat for hours, sharing secrets and dreams over mugs of steaming coffee. It felt like we'd known each other for years, even though we'd just met. Those early days were filled with small adventures, midnight walks along the river, spontaneous road trips to nowhere in particular, lazy Sunday mornings tangled in bedsheets and sunlight. We built a world together, brick by brick, laugh by laugh. There were no promises of forever, only the promise of the present, and somehow, that felt enough. But life, with all its unpredictable turns, began to tug at the edges of our little world. New jobs, new cities, ambitions we couldn't ignore. We tried, for a while, to bridge the distance. There were long phone calls that stretched late into the night, love letters written in a hurried scrawl, surprise visits that made the world seem small again. But slowly, inevitably, the spaces between us grew wider. Our conversations became less about dreams and more about logistics. When we could see each other next, how many miles we'd need to cross. The laughter faded, replaced by silences neither of us knew how to fill. We parted with the gentleness of people who once loved each other deeply, who still did, in some way. There were no harsh words, no slammed doors, just a quiet understanding that we'd reached the end of something beautiful. I watched you walk away on a rain-washed sidewalk, the city lights reflecting in puddles, your silhouette growing smaller with every step. I wanted to call out, to run after you, but I didn't. We'd given each other everything we could. Even now, years later, I still dream about us. I dream about the old bookstore, the way your laughter echoed between the shelves. I dream about the feel of your hand in mine, the warmth of your breath against my neck as we drifted off to sleep. I dream about the life we almost had, the home we might have built, the adventures we might have chased. Sometimes, I see you in a crowd, or hear your favorite song on the radio, and it's like no time has passed at all. The memories are vivid, alive, as if they're happening in real time. I wonder if you ever think about those days, about the way we loved each other with all the innocence and urgency of youth. I wonder if you remember the promises we whispered in the dark, the dreams we painted in the air. I've tried to move on, to build a life that feels full and meaningful. There have been new loves, new beginnings. I've traveled to places we always talked about visiting, stood on mountaintops and watched sunsets that took my breath away. I've learned to find joy in solitude, to savor the quiet moments that once felt empty without you. But even in the happiest moments, there's a part of me that still aches for what we lost. Love, I've learned, isn't always about holding on. Sometimes, it's about letting go with grace. It's about cherishing the memories, even as you build new ones. It's about understanding that some people are meant to shape us, to teach us, but not to stay forever. You were my North Star for a while, guiding me through the uncertainties of early adulthood. You showed me what it means to love deeply, to be vulnerable, to risk everything for a chance at happiness. I still dream about us, not because I'm stuck in the past, but because you were a part of me, and always will be. Our story is woven into the fabric of who I am. The lessons I learned with you, the ways I grew, the memories we made, they're all threads in the tapestry of my life. Sometimes, I imagine what it would be like if we met again, by chance, in that same bookstore. Would we recognize each other, after all these years? Would we fall back into old rhythms, or would the weight of time and experience keep us apart? I like to think we'd smile, maybe share a coffee, catch up on all the years we missed. Maybe we'd talk about the books we're reading now, the dreams we're still chasing. Maybe we'd laugh about the old days, about the foolishness of youth and the wisdom that comes with age. I know now that love doesn't always end with heartbreak. Sometimes, it simply changes shape. What we had was real, and beautiful, and enough. I'm grateful for every moment, every laugh, every tear. I'm grateful for the way you loved me, and for the way you taught me to love myself. In quiet moments, when the world slows down, I still feel you with me. In the way I notice beauty in small things, in the way I open my heart to new experiences, in the way I love fiercely and without reservation. You are a part of that, forever. I still dream about us. Not as a longing for what could have been, but as a gentle reminder of what was. The love we shared lives on in memories, in dreams, in the person I've become. And though our paths have diverged, I carry you with me, always. So, wherever you are, I hope you're happy. I hope you're chasing your dreams, laughing with friends, finding beauty in the everyday. I hope you think of me sometimes, and smile. And if you ever find yourself walking into an old bookstore, and you hear laughter echoing between the shelves, maybe you'll remember the magic we shared, if only for a moment. Love stories don't always have to end with happily ever after, to be worth remembering. Sometimes, the best stories are the ones that leave us changed, that remind us of our capacity to love and be loved. Our story was one of those, a fleeting, beautiful chapter in a much bigger book. And for that, I am endlessly grateful. I still dream about us, and I always will. Not with regret, but with gratitude. Not with sadness, but with a quiet, enduring hope that somewhere out there, you're dreaming too.